Now, I've talked about Stonehenge and not told you anything yet. I'll just give you the background. I've given you my interpretation of Woodhenge. It was a building and we had debates there, so we now know where we are and we know they're connected by the avenue. So now I'm going to talk about the stones, where they came from, how they brought them here, how they brought them, transported them. Yeah, so that's the next step. So we're going from where we are today, how did they get there? So everyone agrees that the bluestones came from Preskelly Mountains in Wales. There's lots of programs about it, they've made films about it, I've been to lectures about it, but like I say, I've done my own research and I've read the original document, and it said that it was very likely that the bluestones came from Preskelly Mountains because 85% of the bluestone is exposed in that place. So it's probable. Now, I looked at the rock strata, I looked at the bluestones, and I got the stick. Just here is an island, Lundy Island. And I've got a picture of it. There it is. This island has got bluestone deposits all over it, all exposed exactly the same as Preskelly Mountains. It's on the same rock strata. It had a settlement at the time of Stonehenge, in fact older, and I've found in the local graveyard on Lundy bluestones which have been took from circles on the island and used today. So you can go there and look at bluestones. And I've been told, I don't know if it's true, I need to research further with this, but I've been told originally there was a circle here on the island. Now, the bluestones which were transported to Stonehenge were over 1,000 years old. They'd already been dressed and cut and been used for something else before they were transported. And my suggestion is that they came from Lundy. And the reason being is Stonehenge is 51 degrees, 10 minutes, 44 seconds of latitude. And Lundy, at that point, 51 degrees, 10 minutes, 44 seconds. They're on exactly the same position. So I can understand when they were building Stonehenge, this wonderful place, that they obviously wanted to incorporate other, obviously something which was on Lundy, and so that the reverence and the everything that the bluestones represented was transported and placed inside Stonehenge. So I'm hoping that somebody somewhere will go to Lundy and check this out. I haven't got the facilities myself to take slivers of stone and put them under a microscope, but I think it's more likely, and a jolly good reason, to take the bluestones from Lundy to Stonehenge rather than the Preskelly. So carry on. Now the big stones, sarsen stones, the sarsen comes from the word sheep, because from a distance they thought they were sheep in a field. And I've got a picture, sheep and stone. And we all agree they came from Marlborough Down, and that's Marlborough Down, and there are sarsen stones. And they are 20 miles north of Stonehenge. So the big stones had to be transported all that way. Now, when you look at the map, they show you a direct line, 20 miles north to south. No problem, you would think. Now, I've walked the route, and that's the problem. There's a huge escarpment round Salisbury Plain. And in the Pewsey Vale, it's at its worst. That is Red Horn Hill. Now, to transport stones up that, impossible, in my opinion. And what I did was start walking. And I walked everywhere. I went east, west, everywhere to look which way did they carry the stones. And to the, I'm not losing the track here, to the east, to the west, I came across the River Avon. It's far too shallow, the bank's far too steep, no, not possible. And to go direct, not possible. So what I had to do was walk along the side of the escarpment, along the side of Salisbury Plain. And this escarpment, I followed it along until I got to Market Levington. And to my amazement, there's a gap. There's a valley with no incline, no obstacles at all. And I thought, this is it. This is the way they would have done it. Would have brought the stones down from Marlborough along the side of Salisbury Plain, through the gateway and directly to Stonehenge. So I went to the local farmers and I got them all together at Markets Levington, and I put them to them. And one or two have actually been born in view of Stonehenge. They knew the land, and they all left me for 5 minutes and came back, and they'd come to a unanimous decision. It's the only way. So great that that these people, the local people, agreed with me. And the route isn't 20 miles north from Marlborough. It's actually 24, 26 miles to enable them to go all the way around the side and then through and then directly. And there's one village in between Market Levington and Stonehenge. It's called Rollstone. And that's my next subject. How do we move the stones? I've tried dragging stones. I've tried walking a stone, which means you fasten logs around every side and then put levers in and walk end over end. I've tried that. I've tried putting stones on rollers, like the Egyptians did, and the rollers sink into the ground. Sledges don't work. Nothing works. But then I remembered when I was a little boy, I had to do the cricket pitch with my friend, and we used to pull the roller, which was 2 tons, across the cricket pitch. And I went to a man on the oil rigs, and he said, "Oh yeah, we've got pipes, they're 2 or 3 tons each, but we just roll them along with 1 foot." And I think people at that time, if they cut a tree down, they would say, "Well, we can't lift it, but we can roll it." So this is the method I think they used. They rolled the stones. The shape of the stones, when you turn them on the side, if you encase them in wood, they lose their weight. They can be rolled. So that's one chap. And another chap there, they've done that, and I mean that's very good, but not quite good enough. But in the right direction. Now that's interesting. British Telecom moved 2-ton blocks. 2-ton concrete blocks. These guys just walking them along. So it goes, the weight is just lost in the ground. So, and the next one. And that's my over-engineered attempt. I made a roller, a big one, and I over-engineered it, but it works. I think the people who built Stonehenge knew a lot more than me about moving stones. And I think the method would have been a lot simpler. It didn't need all that material in the middle. It could have been done almost like a dumbbell shape. So, next. Now, all my thinking on Stonehenge all came down to questions. Why is it so big? Why that diameter? Question, 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 question. Write them all down. And I had to come up with one common denominator, one answer which would answer every question. And what I came up with was a hypothesis at the time. Could it have been a building? Could it? If it had been square or rectangular, well maybe, but could it have been a building? So this is how they built buildings 4,000 years ago. They were round, they had a roof, it was thatched roof. I'm told by one chap who helped me a lot was Robin Heath. He's an expert in that time, what sort of woodwork they did. And he said buildings over 60 feet diameter had buttresses on the outside to hold up the outer wall plate of the building. Now I didn't know about the wise head holes then, I was just thinking of how would a building look 100 feet diameter, not 60, but bigger. So I was taking standard building practices and trying to apply them to Stonehenge. Could it have been a building? Now, that's the building called Rivington Barn. It's the oldest in use Anglo-Saxon barn. It's huge. And the roof was originally wood, and the roof went right down to the floor. So it's got a lovely shape. It's not round, I know, but it's the roof idea. They did have roofs and they went all the way down. And inside, where the roof goes right down to the floor, they boxed it off for cupboards. So I looked at that.